Sahir Galt here, and I'm going to show you how to sight sing in minor keys. Now, if you've worked with my major key sight singing videos, we really only need to acquaint your ear with a few new scale degrees to get you going in the minor keys. There's 3 in the major key, which is shifted down to flat 3 in minor. 6 moves down to flat 6, and 7 moves down to flat 7, giving us the natural minor scale. Sounds like this. And since one powerful way to get good at sight singing is to simply know what it sounds and feels like to be on each scale degree, let's get familiar with flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7. Flat 3 feels dark, somber, and is a big part of what defines a tonality as minor. In fact, there are lots of other minor tonalities other than natural minor, and what they share in common is flat 3. Now, the other thing to notice here is displacing 3 in the major scale to flat 3 in the minor scale changes our familiar pattern of whole steps and half steps as we walk up the scale. 1 to 2 is common to both major and natural minor scales. It's a whole step. But 2 to 3, as in the major scale, is a whole step. Lowering it to flat 3 for natural minor makes this a narrower distance. And so 2 to flat 3 is a half step. 3 to 4 in the major scale is a half step. Lowering it to flat 3 has the effect of widening the distance here, giving us a whole step between flat 3 and 4 in the natural minor scale. And now that we've identified the stepwise changes, let's memorize what it sounds like in context. First, sing the notes in sequence. 1, 2, flat 3, 4. Your turn. Now, I want you to imagine the sound of 1. Don't sing it yet. Just conjure it in your mind. Do you have it? Okay, now sing it. Hopefully, you sang this. And now, 2. Imagine it in your mind. Now, remember, this part is crucial. Don't skip ahead to singing it out loud. Thinking concretely about sound in your mind is one of the most important things you can do to improve your sight singing, but also your pitch and sense of melody generally. Okay, so do you have 2 in your mind? Now, sing it out loud. And check, is this what you sang? Imagine flat 3. Remember the character that it has and its location relative to 2. And sing it out loud. Check in. Finally, let's think about 4. Now sing it. Check. Okay, let's practice sight singing a melody that uses these 4 scale degrees. First, you try. Ready, go. And check it. Great. Let's do a slightly longer one. This is how it should have sounded. let's move on to the rest of the scale degrees. The distance from 4 to 5 is a whole step. Nothing distinct there compared to the major scale. But when we lower 6 to flat 6, the distance goes from a whole step between 5 and 6 to a half step between 5 and flat 6. And the flat 6, in this minor context, has this ominous feeling of mystery and a pull that wants to resolve toward 5. And because we've also lowered its adjacent scale degree, 7, to flat 7, the distance between flat 6 and flat 7 is a whole step. Just like it is between 6 and 7 in major, albeit all down a half step, because both 6 and 7 have been flattened. And flat 7 itself, as a scale degree, can have this brash, assertive quality. Finally, where there's a half step between 7 and the upper 1 in major, flattening 7 widens this distance, making it a whole step from flat 7 to 1. Now that we've examined the distances, let's sing this part of the natural minor scale. 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. Your turn. Okay, and let's do some oral memorization on these remaining scale degrees. First up, 5. Conjure the sound of it as vividly as you can in your mind. And sing it. Sounds like this. Now think about the dark, ominous sound of flat 6. Do you have it? Now sing. And check. And finally, remember the brash quality of flat 7. And now sing it out loud. And check. To put it together, let's sing the entire natural minor scale. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 1. And you? Nice. Now let's do some sight singing with all the scale degrees in play. Start with this one. And check it. Excellent. Now, if you'd gotten tripped up by the fact that when you say flat 3 or flat 6, and especially flat 7, you necessarily have to include extra syllables, which translates to additional rhythmic values, musically, which might not coincide with what the music is asking for. And while the numbers are intuitive and have a lot of cross benefits in connecting to other elements of music theory, and are shorthand musicians you're talking to will use all the time, the rhythmic complication is their weakness, especially in sight singing. And this is where solfege has an advantage. Movable do, where do is always the 1 in the key, is basically the same idea as ascribing numbers to the scale degrees, except we use the invented syllables of solfege. 1 is do, 2 is re, 3 is mi, and so on up the major scale, fa, sol, la, ti. But in solfege, even the flattened or sharpened scale degrees are also 1 syllable. So in minor, of course, do is still do, re is still re, But when you flatten 3 as a natural minor, mi, the 3, becomes me, and la, 6, becomes lay, flat 6. Ti, 7, becomes te, flat 7. See, even the flattened scale degrees are just one syllable long, allowing us to preserve rhythmic integrity. And because numbers and solfege each have their individual strengths and weaknesses, it's important to know and be comfortable with both. So we're going to do a sight singing exercise using the minor solfege, but first, let's simply sing the natural minor scale to master the syllables. Sounds like this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. And you try. And now, let's sight sing in solfege. Ready, go. Nice work. And now, check it. And this time, without the solfege reference, you'll have to figure it out as you go. This is how it should have sounded. All right, you started to condition the sound of natural minor into your ear, identified the differences relative to major, and began memorizing the sound and feeling of the scale degrees themselves. Not to mention, you practice sight singing in numbers and solfege. Great work. To catch my future sight singing videos, make sure you subscribe. That's all for now. I'm Sahara Gold. I'll see you next time.